colors that you're shining on. Shine out the
Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Logic here. I just wanted to submit a quick video about the debate that's been going on in COD Competitive right now. As you guys are well aware, over the slew of videos on YouTube and the tweets that have been going on by the pros, the MLG pros, Crimsix, Neslo, and Nadeshot. Those are the main three that I've seen so far. And the tweets by Saints so far, and even I can't remember his name, but anyway, Cole-chan recently said some stuff to Saints. It wasn't bad, it was just an opinion. Anyway, the debate right now is whether or not MLG is going to make the switch to PS4, and we obviously won't know for certain. For instance, Fox on his YouTube channel, for instance, said that we won't basically know until AW Season 3 is over. Basically when AW is over completely. That's true. We won't know for a while, and people assuming that COD Competitive is going to switch over to PS4 is, I think, in my opinion, presumptuous. Reason being because we won't know until, I believe it's August or even before August, late July, mid-August. Treyarch is gonna they're gonna do an announcement, or maybe even a conference that's gonna be made public on Twitch or something, on what they're gonna be doing for competitive. They've always done that. They've always set aside some time to talk about competitive, and I know Ghost did that at one point where they did their multiplayer review, and they had exposed what they were going to do with competitive. For instance, the clan v clan issue. It was terrible, but that's besides the point. We won't know up until late July, or late July, mid-August, somewhere around there, when Treyarch does their conference or press release or whatever. Like I said, I think it's too presumptuous to assume that we're going to all of a sudden move over. However, I want you guys to think about this, and this is something Nadeshot said. If they're going to have COD Champs next year, if Sony's going to pony up the $1 million, then the likelihood that PS4 will host it becomes incredibly high. The percentage is extremely high now that they have a specific partnership with Activision. So, Nadeshot reasoned, if COD Champs are going to be presented by PS4, then it looks like most likely they're going to change. And that's a strong argument. It's really hard to debunk an argument like that because it is well thought out. Nadeshot did put his ducks in order and did use deductive reasoning to basically come to that conclusion, and it's good logic. So the likelihood of COD Competitive switching over is almost 80% likely. The other side, which Fox pointed out, was that MLG currently has a partnership with Xbox. They have a standing relationship with Xbox, so they don't know how they're going to go about it. They didn't MLG Sundance, for instance, didn't have any kind of intel that they were going to make this move until it was announced. He might have. Who knows? It's all speculation at this point. But now that they know, they haven't said anything. The only tweet that we know from Sundance is "Welcome to the game, #PlayStation." That's all he said, verbatim. That's all he wrote, and I'll even post it in the video. So, what do I personally think? I think it sucks for the consumer. I really do. I mean, business-wise, it makes a lot of sense. Think of it this way. If you were a businessman and your stocks were at 31%, which according to the stock market yesterday, Sony was about at per share, they were at 31%. Whereas Microsoft was at 45, I think, when the market closed. So it made sense. It would bring in a bunch of competitive players, and according to the registrar that I found, MLG has registered 800,000 competitive players on Xbox. The number is substantially lower for PS4 users on GB. And I even saw a tweet yesterday saying somebody said that you the person wrote that PlayStation users don't want Xbox users to come over. They shouldn't want to, because the best PlayStation team makes or the Xbox users that do competitive make the best PS4 team look like bots, basically. So it's kind of embarrassing. I have my personal issues with PlayStation. For instance, the PlayStation Network is extremely gimped. If you run your own speed test, they will gimp your speed to your ISP. It won't even be close to it. It'll be like at a third of the broadband. So that's my personal issue is with PSN. A controller, everybody can get used to. If you can get used to a PS1 controller, you can get used to a PS4 controller. That's not a big issue. My only issue is that it's thinner. And by thinner, here, let me show you exactly what I mean by thinner. By thinner, I am talking about the width between the top and the bottom. You see the difference? Huge difference. And why is this important? Because if you're going to try to put a paddle on this thing, it's going to be really hard, because it's going to start coming through the bottom. You're going to see the paddle on the bottom. That's really annoying. Second, it's really uncomfortable. Here, I'll even show you how uncomfortable it would be. You see how long the paddle is? And you see how the limited space that you have on the PS4 controller? It's extremely limited. So what they're either going to have to do is they're going to have to shrink the paddle about that much, or you're going to have a scuff paddle, which is like this big and it curves inside, and it's really uncomfortable anyway, because you have to reach like that, and it's really uncomfortable. It doesn't make any sense. But there's always a way around it, you know, like for instance, Battle Beaver, the company that I'm sponsored by, has buttons that will make it even more ergonomic. So there's always a way around things. I mean, you're gonna have to get used to a controller, and Battle Beaver has these buttons where it makes it more ergonomic. It's a lot easier to push a button like this than it is to reach over like this when you have to push to the side. That's just a minor problem. It's not a huge problem. If you can get used to this, you can get used to this. It's not a big issue. Anyway, that's just one side. My problem mainly is with PlayStation Network. PlayStation Network has incremental downtimes, and it happens all the time, especially at night. So if MLG is going to consider moving over to PlayStation, they need to consider that, because the Pro League is online. And if the Pro League is online and there's going to be downtimes, what's going to happen? They're going to have to reschedule games. But let me pose a hypothetical. Let's say someone hacks PSN again, and PSN is down for 9 months, I think it was last time on PS3. What are they going to do then with the Pro League? That's a substantial problem. Xbox does have problems online sometimes, but they get resolved quickly, real quick. So these are just side issues over that, over whether they're going to switch or not. I'm not even going to talk about the fanboyism on both sides, because I own both. I am a fanboy, but I'm a fanboy of gaming. I don't really care which one takes over. I just want to make sure that the experience is better. If MLG switches, I want to see them actually care that the network would be better. This sucks for consumers, though. This isn't good for consumers, because now you're asking them to buy a PS4, it's $400, and then buy a scuff or a competitive controller, which usually ranges between $119 to $200. Well, that's almost $600 max. Then you got to buy the game, which is $60. Then if they want to get the season pass, that's almost $1,000 per person to switch. And I'm estimating, I'm rounding up, so don't say in my comments that I'm being too hyperbolic about the whole thing, saying it's not $1,000. Yeah, $420. I mean, that's how much the PS4 will cost with tax. The controller, depending on what you want to get on it. So I'm gonna be modest. I'm gonna say $150. You know, because $119 is the base price. But if you want to add color schemes or whatever, EMR or whatever, it's gonna go up pretty close to $200. So I'm gonna say $150. I think that's modest. $150, $420. 420, 150. So that's close to $600. That's about 560 around there, 550. Okay, and if you have Astros and a mix amp, that works perfectly fine. You don't have to worry about that. The subscription fee, depending on what you want to get, the month is $10. The whole year is 50. So that's close to 700 already. The game plus a subscription, so that's 60. That's $110. So it's close to $1,000. It may not be at $1,000, but it's pretty damn close. So for the consumer, they're gonna have to be dropping a lot of money if they want to stick with competitive and if they want to stay relevant in the competitive scene. That is maddening to the consumer. But from a business perspective, I want you guys, the consumer, to think about this, and the competitive player. If you were a businessman and you wanted to make more money, you would make the decision. It makes perfect sense for Activision to partner up with Sony. And for those of us who own Xbox have been benefiting from that relationship by getting DLC early, now it's our turn to wait. I find that to be fair. It's fair. I think it's unfair to force the consumer to switch, but it's not like they had a choice. Second, don't get mad at the pro players for wanting to switch if they do end up switching, because Scumpy tweeted out that it isn't up to the players to decide which console they end up playing on. It's not their choice. Don't get mad and tweet at them about it. If you want to point your anger at anybody, you have to point it at Treyarch and Activision. Well, mostly Activision. Treyarch is just a studio that's developing it. Activision is the publisher. You have to aim your guns at them. Don't bring it to the players. Don't bring it to the developer. Point your sights over at Activision, because they're the ones that are making all the moves. Second, I wanted to kind of focus on the PS4 fanboys. They've been putting down a lot of the Xbox users for yelling and making a big deal over this. Xbox users have a good point. Think of this. Assume that it was backwards. Assume that PlayStation 4 had the relationship and then Activision switched their partnership over to Xbox. Now, the situation at that point will be reversed. Now you're going to have a bunch of PS4 users complaining that they're going to have to use a Xbox One for COD competitive. Put yourself in their shoes. Do you think you will not complain? You will definitely complain if you're a competitive player, because now you're forced to spend the same amount of money that now Xbox One users are going to have to spend. So it goes both ways. So I think definitely that people need to listen more than they have to than they can react. I definitely think that Xbox users have a good reason to complain. They really do, because they are the consumers and they're the ones that are going to have to be putting down money. They're going to have to be scrounging up cash just to get a PS4, just so they can stay relevant in the competitive scene. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to make this quick short video about the whole thing, because there's been debates going back and forth, and I think frankly that this is an unfair way for publishers to kind of make a abrupt and kind of forcing all the users to switch. Like, I don't have to switch because I have both, so I'm already there. The only problem I have right now with PlayStation is their network. It is gimped. It is hardware wise, they have the best console. I'm not gonna lie. With that GDDR5, you get more bandwidth for your RAM, and so because of that, they have better graphics because of the memory flow of the kind of bandwidth that the RAM has. So, but the difference is that Xbox has a better network. So honestly, in the real world, I wish that we only had one platform, and that we would have the best things from both worlds into one platform, and then that would make me happy. I'd be happy, and I think all the players would be happy. And then at that point, with that one platform, they can choose whatever controller they want. Like if they wanted to use this or they wanted to use this, it's really up to the player which they're more comfortable with. That's in a perfect world. We don't live in a perfect world. We live in a world where companies compete against each other, which is good for innovation. So in the long run, I ultimately want both consoles to succeed because it foments innovation and it creates ideas on ways to make gaming better for the consumer. So whether we're gonna hear about it soon or what we're gonna know, we won't find out until come late August, around the time where the beta comes out. That's when we'll know sooner or later whether or not we're gonna be switching. But until then, the competitive players should just stay calm and just enjoy playing on Xbox for now, and then when that announcement comes out, then make that decision. I wouldn't run out and buy a PS4 yet. Reason being that once the holidays come around, they're going to start making bundles, and since they have a partnership with Activision, you better believe that they're going to make a PS4 Black Ops 3 bundle, and they'll probably even throw in a terabyte. So wait, don't be hasty, just hold on. I personally have to get a terabyte hard drive to install into my PS4, mostly because I don't have it here, but the hard drive that I had with the PS4, I looked at it. It's a no-name brand hard drive, and it already crashed on me. And I only used my PS4 like a handful of times. I played maybe Destiny and Dragon Age on it, and that's it. Basically, that's all I did. And not for long either. And it already crashed. So that's just annoying. I'm probably gonna get a Samsung 1 terabyte and just throw that baby in there. But that's one of the good things about PlayStation. You can swap out your hard drive if it ever crashes. Something Xbox can't do. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I know it's a little long. It's at about 16 minutes right now. But let me know what you guys think about the whole Switch. If you guys can, leave me a like on the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you guys can. I do GBs and basically gameplays on here. And don't forget to check out our sponsors over at Isolation Esports. Give Battle Beaver a shout out. Tell them I sent you, and use our code ISO to get you guys some a little bit of discount. It helps support the team. And frankly, I like their controllers anyway, better than Scuffs. I mean, I have a Scuff, but the Battle Beavers are so much better. Anyway, guys, this is your boy Logic signing out. Peace.